Please note that this content is for adults only. Viewer discretion advised. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe, like, and share. Hello everyone and welcome back to another live stream with me, Grizzly. We are no longer on verdict watch. This is Grizzly True Crime. A verdict has been reached. So let us bring up the stream and have a look at what's going on. So let's quickly see how long they would have deliberated. If they started at noon, I don't know if they had lunch, had lunch and then deliberated, or if they deliberated while having lunch. They didn't clarify, but let's say that they deliberated while having lunch. Then it was 2 hours and 20 minutes. Okay, here's the judge. Oh my word, I didn't even know what it's going to be. So the jury had a question about 10 minutes ago, and they asked the judge, what qualifies as hand of one, hand of all? Ooh, and that complicates it, It's going to be very interesting. We are live watching now, so everyone's saying no spoiler, don't worry, we are live right now, right? I'm just going to make sure that I refresh the feed so I make sure that we are live. Wait. Okay. Yes. Okay. I wonder what do you think the verdict's going to be? I still think it could go either way. Here we are on day 5, still day 5 of the Meagan Jackson trial. The verdict has been reached after approximately 2 hours and 20 minutes of deliberations. One question from the jury just to clarify what qualifies as hand of one, hand of all. And the judge was saying, if one did it, the other one also did it. Which is interesting because it sounds almost like the conspiracy charge, but yet they've dropped Meagan Jackson's conspiracy to commit murder charge. So it's guilty or not guilty. That's it. It's either going to be guilty or not guilty for murder. Thank you to Copper Horse for also alerting me. I was listening and I wasn't sure, and you're already like, verdict is in. Thank you, Copper Horse, for letting me know as well. And thank you to everyone for emailing me too. I hope there will be justice. Sherry M says, then they have to drop Chris's charge as well, right? Whatever the outcome of this trial is, Meagan Jackson would still face 4 counts of unlawful neglect of a child and a wrongful death lawsuit. And the neglect charges could count as, she could be sentenced to 10 years for each count. So she could still spend a lot of time if convicted on that. Okay, here she comes.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've been informed that the jury has reached a verdict. Anything from the state before we bring the jury in?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Anything from the defense?
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, those of you who are with us, I give this instruction every time before the jury comes in. And that is simply to let you know that we cannot have any type of outburst or anything of that nature, regardless of what the verdict is. This is just simply to let you know that if you're unable to contain your emotions, you need to excuse yourself from the courtroom now. Because regardless of what the verdict is, there's to be no display or no outbursts or any sign of emotion whatsoever. All right, so if you need to be excused, you can go ahead and excuse yourself now. All right, let's go ahead and bring the jury in.
If anyone's only joining today, like maybe today's the first time you hear about this case, make sure you check out day 1 and also day 2 at the beginning. Everything is timestamped for you where we recap the case right as this trial started. It was uncertain if there'd be cameras in the courtroom or not, so we don't always have time for trial prep, but day 1 and 2, it's timestamped for you, and it's a very short trial, all defluffed, no long break, so you can catch up very quickly. Trina Summer said, OMG, if it's not guilty, she can't be recharged and is free. Yes. Stefan says, contain your emotions, Grizzlies. I must say the defense, obviously they look concerned. No one knows what this verdict's going to be. It's up to the jury.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I understand the jury's reached a verdict, is that correct? All right, and have you written the verdict on the indictment, signed it as the foreperson, and dated it?
Yes.
All right, if you would please hand it to the bailiff. All right, I'll ask the clerk if she would please publish the verdict.
Indictment number 2021 GS 2601191. The State of South Carolina, County of Horry versus Meagan Marie Jackson as to the charge of murder. We, the jury, by unanimous consent, find this defendant guilty. Signed by foreperson Jeffrey Roberts, dated June 17, 2025. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if this is your verdict, please so signify by raising your right hand. Thank you.
I let the record reflect that all jurors raise their right hand. Any polling of the jury by the defense?
No, sir.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for your service. That will conclude your duties as jurors in this case and for this term of court. And I want to thank you for your service. I know jury duty is not a fun thing to do, but it is an important thing to do and a vital thing to do. You have a 1-year disqualification from serving as jurors in state circuit court. You've got a 3-year exemption. I hope you don't exercise your exemption because we do need good jurors. And I want to thank you for your service. You're free to go at this time if you want to go. If you want to stay until the conclusion of the proceedings, you can do that as well. Just remain in the jury box. So it's up to you as to those of you who wish to go ahead and leave now, you can leave now. Thank you very much. All right, anything before we impose sentence?
No, Your Honor.
Well, first, I guess at this point in time,
Impose
I know
sentence
the
already.
rules of criminal procedure do allow time periods for post-trial motions. Is there any post-trial motions at this time?
Your Honor, we move for a judgment NOV by you based on the adequacy of the evidence presented, and also that you impose a verdict as 13th juror. Having sat through the trial, heard the evidence, we make those 2 motions. But we would like a little time to flesh those out if possible.
All right, well, I'm going to deny both motions for judgment NOV, and also the motion as the 13th juror. I think there's sufficient evidence presented to the jury that supports their verdict. As I said, the rules of criminal procedure do give you time periods to file post-trial motions, so I'll entertain any post-trial motions you want to do pursuant to those rules. I'll give you that time. All right, anything further at this time?
Your Honor, we are printing the sentencing sheet. We do have 2 victims who would like to address the court. Savannah Rice, who has been present the whole time, and then Zachary Rice, who is the victim's son from another relationship. With the court's permission, that would be via WebEx because he's had help.
No,
No?
I'm not doing WebEx.
Okay.
All right, so once we get the sentencing sheet, I will give you.
I just got to pause for a second. Firstly, oh my word. Okay, so the verdict was guilty. The jury, yeah, they saw the evidence. They decided guilty of murder. Remember that she's also charged, which will be dealt with later, 4 counts of unlawful neglect of a child. And we went through that. So if you missed anything, please check out the playlist. And on each stream, you'll see timestamps, right? To catch up on all that. Yeah, she could face a lot of time for that as well. But right now, oh my word. Okay, South Carolina, it's like, let me impose the sentence. And already now, the defense said they've got motions and they wanted some time, you know, but then the judge is like, yeah, no, I'm going to deny those motions, and off we go. Savannah, I mean, she was already so brave. That's the eldest daughter of the convicted now, Meagan Jackson, and of course the victim, Gregory Rice. And she's going to be now making victim impact statements. And she was already so brave to take the stand. And I'm sure that had an impact on the jury as well, right? So yeah, justice for Gregory Rice.
Victims who are present and opportunity to speak with their
I believe Ms. Rice wants me to read her statement.
Well, I mean, we're not doing that right now.
No, I
I need
know.
the sentencing sheet. I'll let you know when I want to hear from the victims.
So this is Savannah. And
She just went back.
Meagan Jackson had 4 children with Gregory Rice. Savannah is the eldest of those 4 children. Now, Zachary, who also wants to make victim impact statements, is a son that Gregory Rice had with an ex-wife before he was in a relationship with Meagan Jackson. So Zachary has been in previous court hearings as well, especially when Meagan and Chris Dontell were arrested initially. He was saying why they shouldn't have bond. They got bond anyway. They both bonded out, and then they violated those bond conditions and were thrown back in jail, right? So Zachary Rice will be talking, and Savannah as well.
Back the records to get it, Your Honor.
All right.
Is she staring at the jury? Yeah, she is. Okay, thank you, Objection Cake. Thank you, everyone, for letting me know as well. I'm like, so like, what? Okay. So, Objection Cake said the judge denied Zachary as he said no WebEx. Okay, I did hear something about WebEx, but okay, I missed that part. So, Zachary won't be offering victim impact statements, which, whoa, everything is on Savannah. And I know that she will know that we're all rooting for her, right? We're all rooting for Savannah. We've got her back, right? Okay.
Your Honor, I believe that Zachary Rice is emailing a statement that he must have already had prepared. So with the court's permission, I'll read that one as well. He's a statutory victim, Your Honor.
Yeah, but why isn't he here? He has the right to be here, but he's not here.
Because he was forced to take custody of the children when their father was killed, and he has had to struggle to find jobs to now all of a sudden care for extra children.
Why is she shaking her head at that? He did.
All right, anything in litigation from the defense?
No, we asked that she be given credit for the time that she was in jail off of her sons and credit for home detention. I don't have the exact figure, but I'd like to present that to you in our strong motion.
All right. Ms. Jackson, anything you want to say, or does anybody want to speak on your behalf?
Your Honor, she wishes not to speak.
All right. Any prior record?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I'll hear from victims this time.
And Your Honor, did you need me to address the issue of home detention or not?
No, I'm not.
Your Honor, this is from Zachary Rice, who is the older son of Gregory Rice at the time. Once Gregory Rice was killed, Zachary Rice took custody of the 4 half-siblings. And he did this fairly quickly since we did not have WebEx available to him. He says 5 lives completely shattered, showed no remorse, waited 5 years for this, just celebrated Father's Day without him again. I would like the maximum in sentencing, took my father's life, and I want her to pay eye for an eye and lose hers. And then, Your Honor, if I can have Ms. Savannah Rice come up. Your Honor, she's understandably emotional. She says, Your Honor, I believe that my opinion for how long she should be sentenced does not reflect what has already been done. This crime has torn apart my family, others' families, and friends beyond any measure. My siblings and I have all suffered greatly, not only from the loss of my father, but the loss of a mother too, the loss of our lives. We have been waiting so many years for just a bit of closure, and this is it. We will never have the chance to freely live our lives without the thoughts of what has been done following behind us. It has become a challenge to rebuild and grow from everything that happened. There are still days where I just cry and wish I could go back in time to maybe prevent what happened. I can't do that, though, and I will forever have the thought that I can't change anything alongside me. This trial and getting up on the stand has been one of the most heartbreaking and painful things I've ever had to do. It has also been one of the most relieving and rewarding things. I finally got to say what has been sitting in my brain the last 4.5 years. It was a relief finally being able to tell the truth and to go towards a cause. I believe that 50 years to life would be a sufficient amount of time. I thank you for your time, for listening to what I had to say. Thank you. Does Your Honor wish the state to address sentencing?
Wow, okay, so the state read the victim impact statements from Zachary Rice, that's Greg's son from his ex before he met Meagan Jackson, and he had 4 children with Meagan Jackson, and the eldest, Savannah, her victim impact statements were also read by the state. So if Zachary's watching with us, you're a Grizzly too. We've got your back too. I mean, he literally had to overnight become a dad to 4 kids that were actually, it's half siblings, you know. He had to take on that role because the mother was in jail for charges of murder. Now she's convicted and his dad was killed. Lisa says, LWAP, thanks for being a member for 3 months. Let's check out the sentencing.
Well, if there's anything you want to put on the record.
Your Honor, the state is asking for the maximum term of life imprisonment. We believe that there is clear evidence that this defendant not only plotted and planned this murder, but also tried to frame the victim for things that she was doing. As Savannah said, and as I said in explaining why Zach couldn't be here, this really did destroy a number of lives. Zach was forced to take in 4 children, his half-siblings, as a result of them being EPC'd after Meagan Jackson was arrested. We believe that there was nothing short of life in prison that would address this crime.
All right, Ms. Jackson, you have been found guilty of murder by a jury of your peers. The sentence of the court, I agree with the state. The sentence of the court is that you be committed to the Department of Corrections for the remainder of your life. You'll get credit for any time, sir. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, anything further from
Wow.
the state?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
All right, court is adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Oh my word. Just like that, sentenced to the rest of her life in prison. Wow. Now, if the jury ever sees this, anyone that was on the jury, and you want to come talk to us, you can email me, grizzlytruecrime@gmail.com. If you don't want to be on camera, that's also an option. If you just want to email and share your thoughts, that's also an option. I could keep people anonymous, or if they want to come out and say their name and everything, that's okay too. You're welcome here. And off she goes. Oh my word, this is just like, wow. Sure. I really think Savannah did so well. I think her testimony was so powerful in this case, right? Susan Lewis said she's not crying for anyone but herself. Oh, shame. There's the solicitor. Oh, shame. Poor Savannah, she's only 19 years old now. All her siblings are younger than her. Teens. This is a lot. So justice was served for Gregory Rice. He was 46 years old when he was killed on October 2nd of 2020. This trial is also, it's taken a while to get here, you know. So, wow. I'm sure the family is very relieved, right? Estelle Pretoria said she's a dangerous predator and cannot roam the streets. Now that Meagan Jackson's trial is over, Christopher Dontell will also be sentenced. I don't know on which day. They didn't say, they'll have to set that. But he's going to be sentenced. He faces, he's the co-defendant, right, that testified against her. He's going to be sentenced up to a maximum of 20 years in prison. Obviously, he'll be given credit for the time already served. He was the deputy coroner, of course, right? And so, yeah, he faces conspiracy to commit murder charges, which is interesting, seeing as they dropped her conspiracy charge. I don't know what will happen if he has people that can appeal his charge of conspiracy, you know what I mean? An accessory after the fact. And he admitted to that. He pleaded guilty, and he said that he's the one who disposed of Gregory Rice's body. Rich Auntie says, yes, Savannah and Zach. Again, I just want to say from all of us, we are so proud of Savannah, right? She was in our chat the other day as well, which we were so honored to have her here. That's her. This is Savannah with the pink hair, beautiful hair. Shame. Sure, what a trial. It was pretty quick. A 5-day trial. It's actually meant to be a 4-day trial, but a 5-day trial. No court yesterday, today. June 17th of 2025. Meagan Jackson sentenced to prison for the rest of her life. The judge said you'll get credit for the time served, which is about 4 years. But if the rest of your life is in prison, that credit doesn't really help. The sound is off, by the way, in case you're wondering. We can't hear a thing. We can only see. I think the state cared a lot, and I think it showed, even though there were some challenges along the way. Christine said, was she really on here? Yeah, she was in our chat the other day. I time-stamped it for you as well. I think it was on day 3. DTPYOW said, congratulations to the state to bring justice and your demonstration of compassion for going to see Savannah. Barbara Jean says, a fair and just sentence. Okay. Well, everyone, thank you so much for watching another trial with me. If you missed the Maxwell Anderson trial, you got to check that one out as well. I know there's lots of trials going on right now. So that one was also very well done. And yes, congratulations to the state. They proved their case to the jury. And obviously the jury went to go look at all the evidence again, deliberated for 2 hours and 20 minutes, right? All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much. If there's any press conference or anything, as always, I will either put it in the pinned comments. I will definitely share it with you. If there's anything that we can, you know, if we can go live with it later or whatever, we'll see. We first just check out how it's going, you know, what's the quality of it. Like sometimes we can't hear a thing. So I'll check it out and I will definitely put it on the playlist as well. Make sure you check out the playlist because oftentimes, like with the Maxwell Anderson trial, afterwards when the lead detective was interviewed, when the juries were interviewed, all of that goes on the playlist. Okay, so make sure you check the playlist to see if those updates are added as well because I will be adding those. Okay, so, shame. Shame, Savannah. And all her siblings, of course, as well. Grizzly Cat is here as well. You said thank you. Thank you, Grizzly Cat, for all the documents as well in this case. All right, everyone. Let's call it a day. And I will see you again very soon. Thank you so much, mods. And thank you, everyone who bought coffees for myself and for the mods as well. Especially the mods being here for these long days. I really, really appreciate it. Whew, we could breathe, eh? Justice for Gregory Rice was served. Okay, everyone. Stay safe.